Hey girls and boys, it's Mr. McAndrew, the math coach. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to be with you as always. So I thought we would start today. I thought I would just do a couple of the problems that you had for work yesterday, on Tuesday. In case you had some trouble with it, I thought I would do numbers 5 and 6, which involves some regrouping, in case you had any issues with it, so you could see how to do it. And then we'll get going with the new math for today, okay? So for number 1, we have 33, sorry, number 5, it was 33 minus 8. So 33, 1, 2, 3, take away 8. So that's how we've been setting it up, right? We can represent it with base 10 pieces or blocks. We don't have enough, we'll pretend like these are Skittles, like we've been doing. We don't have enough Skittles to give away 8 over here, so we're gonna have to go to the tens place, right, to get some more. So we take one of these, we cross it out, and we're gonna pour out the Skittles in here. There's 10 Skittles, and give them to the ones place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So now we still have 33 Skittles, but we have 20 of them in 2 bags of 10 and 20. And we have 13 of them like loose, right? Just out over here. They're not in a bag. So each one of these dots is a Skittle. All right, so now we can take away 8. Let's cross out 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we still, so I did that. We still have 5 left because 13 minus 8 is 5. And we still have 2 bags of Skittles over here, so that's 10, 20. So our answer is 25. Okay? So that's one way you could solve this. All right? The other one you could have done like this. You have 94 minus 9. So 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 4 minus 9. Okay, so again, same idea, right? We're going to need to regroup one of these bags of 10 and pour out the Skittles so we have enough to give away 9, right? So if I do that, I cross it off. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember, it's good to be very neat about these things so we don't lose track of how many dots, how many ones we have, or Skittles we have. So now if I take away 9, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4. I still have 5 left. Okay, because 14 minus 9 is 5. Okay, so I took away the 9, and I still have 8 bags over here, so that's 80, because each bag is 10. All right, so my answer is 80 and 5, so 85. So 94 minus 9 is 85. All right? Okay, so if you got the problems correct, then that's great. Okay, if you did not get them correct, but you're learning right now, and you're like, oh, I forgot about that, and oh, I made a silly mistake. Well, you're learning and your brain is growing. So either way, you're doing a good job. All right, so let's move on. All right, so boys and girls, I want to show you. Remember at the beginning of our last video, we talked about there's 2 types of subtraction, right? So the one we just did was, we just did this problem, 33 minus 8. Okay, so what we did was, I'm going to show you another way you can think about solving this. All right, and this could be a way to do it like mentally. Mentally means in your head without no markers, no paper, no pencils, no calculators, just you thinking about it. All right, and this is one way you might think about it, is if this is a number line, let's say this is 0, and it's an open number line, so I can put numbers wherever I feel like. So this is 33. If I'm subtracting 8, I'm taking away 8. I'm going to go backwards 8. So one way I could do this is I could think, all right, well, I always like to go to my tens, right? So tens are like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. They're just easy numbers to work with. So I could think of it this way. I'm going to hop back 3 and get to 30. So I subtracted 3, right? But I haven't subtracted 8 yet. How much more do I need to subtract? So if I'm trying to give away 8, I've already given away 3. How much more do I need to give away? Well, I know that 8 is the same as 3 and 5, right? So I need to subtract 5 more. So I'm going to subtract 5. And if I do 30 minus 5, that's 25. That's easier to do in your head. So if you can't do, what I'm saying is this. If you can't subtract 8 from 33 in one big jump, right? You're like, well, I'm at 33, subtracting 8. I don't really know where I ended up. Well, that's okay, because you could do 2 easier jumps and use 30 as, we call it like a benchmark to stop at. So you could do it in two jumps instead of 1. So I'm going to jump to 30. 33 to 30 is subtract 3. And then I have to subtract 5 more, and that gets me to 25. And that, boys and girls, is what we got as an answer when we did it with our base 10 drawings. So this is just another way to think about how you might subtract. Okay? All right. So let's continue. Okay, so remember that we also said subtraction isn't always just taking something away. Sometimes it's also figuring out, like, well, how much bigger is something, or how much more of something is there, or what's the distance between two different numbers, two different amounts. So instead of starting with one amount and taking some of that away, right? I have 33 Skittles and I took some of those away, took 8 away. You might have 33 Skittles and, so I might have 33 Skittles and somebody else might have 25 Skittles. And now how many more? So we have 2 amounts, right? I have 33 and you have 25. Okay? And you're like, well, why do I get 25? How come it doesn't matter. All right, so I have 33, you have 25, and now we're talking about, well, what's the difference between those? Okay? So let's do a problem like that, just to demonstrate. So, for example, I know that my son is about 58 inches tall, okay? And I know that one of my sisters is about 65 inches tall, okay? And maybe the question is, how much taller is my sister, her name is Michelle, okay, than my son, who is Gus, okay? So in this situation, we're not taking, like, it's not like we have 65 of something and we're taking away 58. What we're trying to do is figure out what's the difference between the two. So number lines can be an awesome way of thinking about that, all right? Because what I can do is I can just put, so I've got 0 wherever, and let's say I've got 58 here. It's an open number line. It means I can put things wherever I feel like. And I'm going to put 65 here. So now what I want to do is figure out what's the distance from 58 all the way to 65. Now maybe you just know that, okay? Because the answer is 7. Because if you go 58 plus 7, you end up at 65. But maybe you don't know that. So what you could do is in your head or on a number line, you could think, all right, well, remember, we want to use tens. So 60 is a 10, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So I'm going to do one hop of 2 to get to 60, and I still have to hop up 5 to get to 65. So I went from 58 all the way to 65, and I can see that it took me a hop of 2 and a hop of 5, so that 2 plus 5 makes 7. So what I'm saying is 65 minus 58 equals 7. Okay, because we're thinking of it as the distance between these two things, these two numbers. So I can either start at 58 and go up to 65. That's using addition to solve a subtraction problem, right? Or I could start at 65 and go back to 58 and see how far back I have to go. And you could do the same thing. You could hop back 5. And now I'm at 60. I have to hop back 2. So I had to subtract 7. So the answer is still the same. It's still 7. All right? Okay, so I'm just going to keep throwing these things out at you to help you out. All right. So I'm going to stop the video here. Okay, we reviewed your Tuesday work, and we just went over another way to think about subtraction. On the next video, which you need to watch like right after this one, we're going to get into some 2-digit minus 2-digit subtraction. So, all right, here we go. I'll see you in a minute.